I take a nice lay down in my bed. I did good today, I say to myself. I just finished the workout and my arms really hurt. They were looking great in the mirror. And, I sat down, grabbed my computer. This is my computer. And I started watching some videos. Before I knew it, it was dinner time. I had wasted the entire day watching YouTube and doing nothing. I did nothing productive other than working out, sure. I figured, I was fine. I put so much work in every day anyway, so why can't I just have a day off? Next day, I wake up, do my workout, and I do the same thing. It wasn't even a great workout that day, but I was just like, what's one bad workout gonna do to me? Flop back in my bed, make some more videos. This happens to me the next day and the next day and the next day. Constantly just falling into bed and taking a nap or something. I don't even know what I was doing. Actually, naps would have been more productive than I was doing. I was just watching YouTube. But, I'm losing progress. My happiness has gone down, and I can see that I'm not improving as I should. I got complacent and I wasted like a month or two losing progress and then trying to get back to where I was. Alright, so if you haven't guessed already, this video is going to be about complacency. Sort of a weird start. I know I don't often do like that, but not gonna lie, it is fun to do it, so I don't really care. Alright, so first off, what is complacency? Because complacency is a really weird sounding word, not gonna lie. Complacency happens after you've been making some progress and you decide that you can take a little breather. Like in the gym, maybe you've been going 6 days a week, really pushing yourself. So you decide, I'm gonna have like a deload week where I only go 3 times this week because I really earned it. Or maybe you've been eating well for a while and you decide, I'm gonna have a cheat day and you eat paper or something. Or eat something unhealthy. That was weird. I'm sorry. What am I doing? Anyways, yeah, that's what complacency is. It's where you decide you can maybe go off the gas a little bit, but it is really when you lose that like initial burst of motivation to work and that normal part of your brain, that normal people part of your brain says, let's take a back off. I don't really want to do it, and we don't really need to. It's not that bad. You know, it's that when you decide it wouldn't hurt too much to, lay off the gas a little bit. And occasionally it's fine. Like if you want to take a deload week because maybe your shoulder's been hurting for like 2 weeks and it's not going away, so you're gonna rest it for a week. Something like that is fine. But if it's just like I'm sore, no, absolutely not. If you're sore, that's perfect. Keep going. But if maybe like if your diet, you go on vacation, like I went on vacation in August. I had a lot of junk food for a week straight because I was in Disney. I mean, what was I really gonna do? But something like that is fine. But we don't want it to become a habit where we're doing the bad thing because we think we're doing so much work that it cancels out because it really does not cancel out. And eventually you'll see that you started here and your progress is slowly just ticking downwards. Like, but all right. Why is it so dangerous? Now, if you haven't already guessed from the last part or my intro, complacency is so dangerous when it becomes a habit. Because, like in the intro, I lost months because I had a habit of after I did one productive thing, I would lay down in my bed and I would watch YouTube for 6 hours and I would do nothing else in the day. If you have an off day, whatever, just get back and do it tomorrow. Off days happen. Trust me. But if you continue to have off days, you need to look at yourself and just really think like, what do I need to do to make this better? Because something needs to change. Complacency is so dangerous, especially to the new guys on self improvement. Because I'm not gonna lie, this was me. This is totally me. You're at that weird point where, you shouldn't be getting comfortable because you're not at that level yet where, you should be getting comfortable. Or it's like, it's not going to hurt you that much to get comfortable. But you're also like, this is where you were, this is where you are now. So this big jump is like really feeling great for you. So you think you can get comfortable. And that's what happened with me. That first like month or so after, like, I was in the mirror and I was flexing and I saw this little bulge in my biceps. And I was like, dang, I'm actually going to get muscle. And, I went a little bit off my training regimen and I went to the gym a little less after that because I thought I would be fine when in reality it really hurt me to do that. But, we're still building habits too as like a really young self-improvement guy. And, a habit tracker really helps. But if you decide to get complacent and think, oh, I don't need to do something, that's really not good because one of the things about building habits is you'll be able to do it later in life, even if it's something as stupid as folding a piece of paper every night. Like, just doing that every day will show that you have the discipline to do something that you might not want to do every day, and it helps you build discipline. And as a young guy on self improvement, that is very important. What do I mean by young guy? Well, this is also a video I'm going to do, but I have it's this idea that you're only as old for that as long as you've been doing it. So for self improvement, you're still like an infant, like a toddler right now. And me too, honestly, I'm still a very young child when it comes to self improvement. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, trust me, I'll have a video like next week explaining this. But just bear with me for now, okay? We need to stay consistent. We need to keep ourselves focused on improving even the smallest things, building new habits, not indulging in the progress we've already made, because that will only set us back. Now, you can like indulge in the progress, like if you want to flex after the gym or something, go ahead. Or if you want to lift up your shirt to see your abs, sure, don't care. But if you want to eat a bunch of junk food because you've already had a really great diet, that is not a good thing. Now, this is an idea that I got from Hamza. I've already mentioned it on his channel a lot, but I got this from him about 2 years ago now when he was in Thailand. He gave me this idea of sacrifice must be progressively overloaded. Just like after weightlifting for a little bit, and maybe you're benching 100 pounds, and that feels good, so you try and go up to 110, and then 120. Every week you're getting stronger and stronger because even your weak points at a point will be better than the normal people out here. Which reminds me of another quote by Andrew Tate. He said, I am not training to be better than my opponent at my best. I'm training to be better than my opponent at my weakest. Basically, what he's saying is there's going to be times where, maybe he didn't have a great sleep. Maybe he's got a really bad headache right now. Maybe his muscles are sore, but he's training so that he can still win, even if he's at his weakest, because his opponent, even at his strongest, is weaker. And that's what we want to do because we don't want to be training to be better than everybody on our perfect days, because of course we're going to be better than everybody else on our perfect days. We were training to be better than everybody on our worst days. But like for weightlifting, how we progressively overload the squat. I used to be squatting like 60 pounds, and now I'm all the way up to squatting 205. So you see, that's a huge progressively overload the squat, and it doesn't change for the rest of your life. Your activity that is bad might be eating like a piece of toast now, but for the rest of the world, for all the normals, that sounds fine because We're not normal. They think that, toast is fine, it's healthy, stuff like that. When we understand it's been processed, the wheat is terrible. It's bad for our hormones and our gut because I know I talk about this in all the videos, but you're listening to a literal teenager still in high school tell you, don't get complacent. Keep making progress, We have to progressively overload our sacrifice if we keep making progress because if we don't, we'll just go up, sure, and then we'll just stall out because we're not doing anything else to progressively overload. And we'll still be a little bit above average, but there's this idea that the first man really gets all the spoils, and it really exponentially decreases as you go down. Like, for example, who is the fastest runner in the world? Usain Bolt. Everybody knows who Usain Bolt is. Now tell me, who's the second fastest runner in the world? That's what I thought. I don't know either. Because all the spoils go to the top. So we don't want to be in the top 40%. We want to be in the top 10%, the top 1% that gets all the spoils of the world, not just a little bit better than anybody else. All right, what to do when you're getting complacent? Well, the first step is to identify the problem. Is it a diet thing, a fitness thing, mental health thing, something else, Once you find that, figure out why it is a problem. For this, I'll use weightlifting because it's very easy to see weightlifting. My problem is that I used to go to the gym 5 times a week, but now I go to 3. And this is really the biggest step in fixing a complacency problem. Because if you don't see the problem with complacency, even when it's right in front of you, you're never going to be able to fix it, are you? Because you're not going to know it's a problem. So if you can find out what the problem is, you're already like halfway there. Then we need to set a plan to fix it. Don't rush into it and set yourself back even further. Like, if I've been going to the gym 3 times a week for maybe like a month now, I don't want to go 7 times a week for a month to just set myself back on the street. That'll show my brain. No, because if I'm going to get sore, I'm going to feel like crap because my arms are going to hurt so bad after adding 4 days a week to the gym. I'm going to be tired all the time. I'm going to be like this all the time. And, eventually I'm just going to fall back to 3 because, going more than 3 times a week doesn't really work for me. I talked about this in my bouncing back video. I'll have this pop up a card if you guys want to watch it. Then we need to set a plan to fix it. Oh, sorry. For example, let's talk about the fitness again. I'm not going to go 7 times a week. We already talked about that. Sorry, hiccups. I'm going to go to the gym maybe 4 times a week next week. And maybe the week after that, go 4 times a week. And then maybe next month, I'll go 5 times a week. I say this in so many of my videos. Rebuilding takes a lot of time. Like, imagine if a house falls down in a hurricane. If you try and rebuild it in the hurricane, it's going to fall down again, especially, but if you wait for the hurricane to pass, you take your time. You really make sure every brick is laid nicely. That house is going to stand forever, and it's going to house a family. The best houses are built with time and care, just like habits. I also recommend putting up a chart or a calendar when trying to rebuild a habit so that you can see the progress you've made and keep yourself accountable on whether you're actually improving to your old non-complacent self. Like, I have a calendar in which I cross off each time I work out. It's this paper right here, this one. And I want to have at least 5 days crossed out, but now I've actually been trying to go 6, which is nice. All right. Now let's talk about Kaizen because this will really help with complacency and staying away from it. Kaizen is this Japanese philosophy that is used for business purposes, but the ideas still work very well for our self-improvement journey. Kaizen is this philosophy that each day you spend time just making yourself a little bit better, no matter how small the change is. Like, for example, if you want to be more loving, grab a piece of paper and say, right, how can I be more loving? And then on that paper, maybe write, I am going to text my mom every day and telling her I love her. Just as simple as that is going to be really good. Just getting 1% better every day. Just by taking some time every day to really think, this is what I need to do today to push myself to be better, you know? By following this rule, you won't get complacent because every day you'll be looking for something you can do better instead of doing nothing, you know? It doesn't have to feel like a big change right now. It can be eating, like if you had a handful of chocolate chips each day, just eating maybe two less chocolate chips today than you did the day before. You know, that's not a big change, but maybe you take two away every day and the next week you're not eating any chocolate anymore. It's all healthy food. And for your rest of your life, you're not eating junk food every day again. And you know, making just a 1% change every day will add up very quickly. For example, like let's say you have a business, you want to improve it just 1% each day for an entire year. So if you started at $100,000, which is a very respectable amount of money, you know, would be an okay house, a very, you know, it'd be strange to live on 100,000. I put in a calculator. If you do this by the end of that year, you will have 3,778,343.43. Just those tiny changes can make a huge difference in the long run. You like $100,000. You multiply that 37 times because a lot of people will say, "Oh, 1% better means 1% every day." So it's 36 times better, right? Wrong. 1% better every day means it compounds because you're 1% better, but that 1% better is 101%, which means you add on another 1%. And it's that very tiny amount, but it will be in the long run. It gets insane, as you can see. 3.77 million dollars. That's incredible. Just those tiny changes can make a huge difference. Remember, this journey is about constantly getting better to become the best version of yourself, not just being slightly above average. There will always be something you can do to improve if you truly want to look for it. Over time, you will see these tiny little changes compounded as something special, but you will have to be patient and make sure that every day you are doing the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Peace.